We want to change as many people as we can, and I think if you focus on a cause more than, like any success, then I think that's what gets you further.
Hey guys, today I'll be picking the brains of Matt Pyke. Matt went from being a professional basketball player for Cheshire Phoenix to founding two companies, one of which being a digital marketing agency called Fly High Media, which he founded in 2015, and the other one being Pyke&Co. Not only that, Matt is one of the most active young entrepreneurs in Manchester. He's trying to provide as much value as he can to his followers and peers by creating his own blogs and sharing them on his social media accounts, doing Q&A sessions to answer any of the questions that his followers might have, and also showing up to meetups in and around Manchester to really help and inspire other young entrepreneurs on their journey. So really, thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you're a very busy man as well.
Thank you.
So just quickly sort of introduce to our viewers a bit more about yourself, where you come from, what's your story?
Yeah, so I founded Fly High Media very early, 2016. So I've always been interested in digital marketing and things like that, and I always did bits and bobs for a long time now. So I started off with an e-commerce store about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But I just learned everything I know really through that and trial and error. And then more recently in November I started Pyke&Co with my business partner Dennis.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been doing that, and recently we went to a trade fair in Birmingham, so that was really good. So yeah, that's me.
So tell me, the transition. I mean, going from a professional basketball player to founding your own company, that's not what everybody thinks you would do immediately, especially at your age. So how did that happen? What was going on?
Yeah, I mean, with basketball in the UK, it's not the biggest sport, and it's pretty far from it, but I just saw that business was becoming more interesting to me, and I saw business as more long-term, so I kind of thought there'd be something I could make more of, so that's what I wanted to focus on. And I think the two are pretty similar, really. You need to be prepared for both. The competitiveness in both really the same, so it was pretty easy turning from basketball to...
Did you always know that if you're going to do a business, you're going to do a digital marketing agency, or did that just sort of came on its own somehow? Why that particular sort of industry?
It's just something that I've always been interested in, really, and I kind of tried another business, obviously the t-shirt business I just mentioned, and kind of selling and designing t-shirts, that wasn't for me. It was kind of more the building of the brand and the building of the company. That was what interested me. When the business was building up, I didn't like the design or manufacturing process. Even now, Dennis still does that side of things.
Yeah.
So my strength was in the marketing side, and that's what I enjoyed the most. And that was what I really like doing.
So do you feel that Fly High Media now is where you sort of feel the most confident and most comfortable going forward?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
So, that's awesome. And then there's Pyke&Co.
Yeah.
So what's that, and how did that come about? As if one company's not enough.
yeah. So we started this, we actually came up with the idea, it was the start of October, and we just did me and Dennis, we had so many problems together because he owns a business as well, a design agency down south, and he had a load of problems like headaches and migraines and things like that, and trouble sleeping at night because we both work late at night, and we were both getting headaches, dry eyes, that kind of thing, and staying up all night because of the light being emitted from the devices. And we did some research into it, and we found it was the light, and you can stop that happening by having these tinted lenses. So the tint on the lens stops the blue light coming in. And we did some research into it, and then we found out that there was glasses available, but they were kind of ugly, lab type goggles, so safety goggles. So
you don't really want to sleep in those, do you?
Well, you don't sleep in them, but you wear them kind of at the desk or just before bed, and it's not really the most attractive thing. So these glasses are quite good. The design.
So they're not just before sleep. Is it just for everyday use as well?
Yeah. So if you're at the desk for a long time during the day, then you can wear them because your eyes are close to the screen.
Yeah.
It's important to protect your eyes.
Because to be fair, I've seen quite a few people in the office. they're using like these apps and everything on that change the color of the screen.
Yeah.
Is there like a difference between doing that and doing this?
Yeah, I mean they're both pretty similar. So the apps on the computer like Flux and Night Shift, they block about 30% of the light, and these glasses block up to 60.
Okay.
And another thing that we get asked a lot is like, well, obviously like what the difference is, but when you're looking at the screen, your eyes are only protected from the screen. So at night time, there's other light coming, so artificial light, and even from the bedside light. So it's only blocking the screen, but the glasses they block around everywhere. So yeah.
Nice. So actually solving a problem like
yeah.
I think it's always good that, you know, when you create a company or something, when it actually comes from your own experience, something that you really see there's a problem.
Yeah.
Right. So I really appreciate that you're actually trying to solve something that's really sort of a problem in nowadays.
We got some feedback as well last week. There was a lady who gave some glasses to, and she gave them to her autistic son.
Okay.
He really struggles like with sleeping. He's always on his iPad really late at night, and she put them on. And then she tweeted us that he said he went to sleep straight away, and she didn't have to take his iPad off because that's obviously like what comforted him. Yeah. So he was able to do that right up till bedtime, and he slept fine.
How does that make you feel when you hear that kind of story?
That's what we do it for, really, because we want to change as many people as we can, and I think if you focus on a cause more than, you know, like any success, then I think that's what gets you further.
Yeah. So you definitely can be called, and you probably present yourself as an entrepreneur now, right? I mean, having to business and everything, you know. I feel that word is really thrown around a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I asked this all my guests as sort of your definition of an entrepreneur, because I kind of had to call myself that as well. As much I fought it as much as I can, but when you are trying to sort of build a digital presence and you want to sort of present yourself and represent what you do, you kind of you can't go away from that kind of, right? So I'm just curious, sort of, do you call yourself an entrepreneur? And if you do, sort of, what is your definition?
Yeah, I mean, that's most, it depends who you say it to, really. I mean, people who don't really know what you do day to day, that's what you say you are, because like you probably understand like general idea of what people in the industry, like people like you'd have to explain it a bit more. Like everyone has a different definition of it. So you say, like we say to each other like what we do, and it's because we know that it gets thrown around quite a lot. So I think there's loads of different definitions, but I think it's the definition of it is someone who's willing to take risks, not scared to fail, and who can accept disappointment and keep going no matter how many times you get put down. Yeah.
So do you feel like you deal well with failure then?
I think so. Like, whatever happens, I just know that eventually you can get up from it, and you know, like I think there's nothing you can't overcome, really.
Yeah. So, how many? I know you probably can't count, but how many times in your book you failed, and did you ever have a point where you're like, do you know what? Maybe this is not for me, actually.
I couldn't count it at time, but like it does happen, like, and you really do get close to the edge. But I mean, it kind of scares me to get a normal job, so that's just my motivation.
Once you taste it, right?
Yeah. So that's all I can say. Like, that's what keeps it going.
So is that one of the main reasons why, you know, you enjoy what you're doing? Is that kind of freedom that you don't have to go to a 9 to 5 and sort of listen to your boss and whatever?
Yeah, like there's a quote, I can't remember quite what it was, but it was like, as an entrepreneur, you avoid the 9 to 5 to work 100 hours a week or something. So I just don't see the point in working for someone else, making them rich or more successful, when you can be doing things for yourself and helping others the way you want to, and run a company you want to, rather than abiding by other people and fulfilling their dreams. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, I think like entrepreneurship now is like the cool thing to do, right? It's the popular thing to do. Yeah. You know, people like Gary Vee and stuff like that, right? They really made it popular. Yeah. So I personally feel like it's great, right? It pushes people like myself to actually try and discover that, oh, actually I love this. I think otherwise I probably wouldn't even try, maybe. I'm not a born entrepreneur. I wasn't like growing up when I was like 12 and thinking I'm going to have my own business, right? Yeah. but at the same time, I feel like it also hurts a lot of people because they feel that they can do it because it's the popular thing to do, and they want to put that tag on their Instagram and stuff like that. What are your feelings like? How do you feel about entrepreneurship being popular and how it affects other people?
I mean, it just isn't for some people, and by all means try it, but some people just aren't cut out for it, and I think you just need to be able to keep going and going, and there's a lot of people that can't do that, and that's probably the 99% of people, and then the real entrepreneurs are the 1% of people, so it's a difficult one, really.
You go to a lot of meetups as well, sort of, so do you see that immediately? Like how do you are you able to sort of determine when you speak to a person whether he can do it or not?
Yeah, I think.
What are the giveaways?
Within the first probably 10 seconds, I think you can literally tell if someone's for real.
Really, 10 seconds?
I'd say so, maybe a minute, but I think that you can tell if someone's real in the sincerity that they talk about things, and mostly the same what they are doing rather than what they want to do or what they are going to, like what they're currently doing, what they've got planned to do. What they're doing, but if they're not talking about what they're doing, they're just saying, oh yeah, I want to start something over the next 6 months.
Yeah, but what are the actual steps that you've taken to do that?
So just basically not blabbing and going around the question.
So if you, and probably when you sort of, meet, young entrepreneurs, I mean, our viewership is literally sort of targeted at either young entrepreneurs or just someone that's looking to go into entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter what the age is. I mean, you've been in the game for quite a few years now. You've had that experience. You've got your ups and downs. So what takeaway sort of did you get? Like, what would you sort of advise, or what kind of advice you could give the viewers, to the young entrepreneurs, to help them understand whether that's for them or not?
I think just don't build yourself up before you tell anyone. I think you should show people instead of tell people. So whatever you've done, I think you should show people rather than just talking about it. I think. So when things do go wrong, not everyone needs to know about it. But when you are doing things and people do know about it, then you can say you tried.
So how do you feel about actually doing, personal branding, for example? Like I started doing my personal branding. It is kind of, you show, who you are and stuff like that, before you actually, I don't consider myself a successful entrepreneur by any means, right? Am I allowed to do personal brands? Like, because you don't really have anything to show for it, Yeah.
Everyone's got a personal brand, like whether you're selling anything really, so everyone's entitled to a personal brand. It just depends what you want to do with it, and everyone's entitled to one. Yeah.
Because we are living in an Instagram society where there's a lot of fake.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have a brand. You've got to be actually, you've got to have an actual cause. Just not just doing it for likes, comments, followers, whatever. You've got to be doing it for a cause. I don't think you should just try and build a personal brand just for the sake of it. It needs to be for a cause and a biggest cause you can. Yeah.
So, what's next for you then? What's next for Fly High Media and Pyke?
Yeah, so Fly High Media, we just want to take on more clients over the next few months, and for Pyke&Co, we were selling B2C, but now we're looking to sell B2B. So that's what the trade fair is for. We were talking to some companies about buying like in bulk for office employees. That's the route we're going to go down.
Yeah. That office would look cool, like everybody with their glasses and everything. That would look sick.
Yeah, so that'd be pretty cool. That's what I want to do, and I want to work on my personal brand too. I'd like to get into some coaching and things like that. I'd like to be doing seminars as well. That's something I've been looking into, but I'm just learning like events and things like that to promote online. So,
what's the latest thing that you've learned that you want to sort of really sort of put in place now?
That's a good question. Just to not get complacent. Like sometimes you can think everything's going good, and then everything can just you can come down straight away. So when things are going well, you just can't be fully satisfied with it. You can be grateful but not satisfied. So when things are going good, you can't just keep riding the wave. You've got to keep working hard and keep going.
Are you a person that celebrates success or gets down with failure, or you just sort of cruise?
Just neutral, really. I mean, I say all the time, because you shouldn't get too high or too low. You know, you should just stay neutral, because when you're high, it's a long way down to the bottom, and then when you're at the bottom, it's a long way to the top. So you should just stay right.
Were you always like that, or is that something you learned to do?
That's something I've learned, really, because I did used to celebrate a lot, and then when you go down, it is a hard fall. So again, like you just learn to stay neutral.
Cool. You provide a lot of value. I mean, I see your blogs and everything, right? Okay. Where can people find all your content online?
Yeah, so things to do with digital marketing, everything's on Fly High Media. So the link's flyhighmedia.co.uk/blog. And then for like entrepreneurship stuff, it's matthewjpyke.com.
And you said you're going to build your personal brand now.
Yeah.
So it's on tape.
Yeah, so I just launched a new ebook recently. So you can download it at matthewjpyke.com/ebook. On there, it talks all about Facebook ads, and I've been posting like weekly blogs all about entrepreneurship and things like that. And then if you want to learn digital marketing, visit the Fly High blog. And then in terms of like daily content, Instagram is probably the best place. So Matthew J. Pyke on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll link everything down below in the description. Awesome, Matt. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, this is really good. We still have that one-on-one basketball game.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to have a rain check for that just a bit because I'm really rusty. But yeah, this is Matt Pyke, a really, really inspirational young entrepreneur doing a lot of great things, both on the digital marketing side and also trying to solve an actual issues with health in sort of today's world. So that's it for now. We'll be picking brains of other young and inspirational entrepreneurs in the next episode. But for now, see you later.